All right, folks, how we doing? It's Mr. Carter here, ready to do Homelink 710. Go ahead and put your name on this if you haven't yet already, and let's begin. So we are using a table here. We're going to use the information in this table to solve our number stories. So during Marcy School's 2-week challenge, this is important to know, each student who meets a goal wins a prize. So here are the activities, and here are the distances we need to do in order to win the challenge, the 2-week challenge. So if you are able to walk, for example, 6 miles in 2 weeks, you get the prize. If you are able to swim 1 mile in 2 weeks, you get the prize. There are 2 more activities on this side. We've got bike riding, so if you're able to ride 6 miles in 2 weeks, you're able to get the prize. And finally, running. If you're able to run for 4 miles in 2 weeks, you get the prize. Let's take a look at number 1. So Tony will run half a mile after school each day. Will he win the prize? So we're talking school days here, so that's a little different than a regular week. So school days are 5 days. So if he goes for 5 days, a half a mile every day, we're going to go 5 times 1/2. And we know that 5 times 1/2, you just multiply the whole number times the numerator. So 5 times 1 is 5, and the denominator stayed the same, so that's 5 halves, which we know when we break that down into wholes, we have 2 over 2 is 1 whole, another 2 over 2 is another whole, that would be 4, and we need to have another half, so we have 1 whole, 2 wholes, and a half, so that equals 2 and 1/2. So the distance he runs in 1 week, again, is 5 halves of a mile, or 2.5 miles. So now in 2 weeks, what we need to do is just take our 2.5, 2 and 1/2, and double it. So that's 2 and a half plus 2.5. So again, if I take my wholes, I'm going to go 2 plus 2 plus, and then put my fractions together, plus half. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus half and half is 1, so that's 5 miles. So in 2 weeks, he's going to run 5 miles. Now, will he win the prize? Well, we have to go back and look on our chart. So we figure out, or we know that he's running, and that in order to get the prize, he needs to run 4 miles in 2 weeks. So since he's run 5 miles, he will win the prize. So the answer there is yes. So I'm going to explain how you did the answer. Well, so you can say Tony will run a total of 5 miles in 2 weeks. And I know this because 5 times 1/2, that's is 2.5 miles every week, and 2 and 1/2 plus 2.5 equals 5 total miles. Okay, let's look at our next problem. So we have here, it says 3 times a week, Tina walks 3/10 of a mile from school to the library, then she studies for an hour, and then she walks 4/10 of a mile more home. How much more will she need to walk to win the prize? So if I'm looking at all these numbers, there's one number I am not going to use here, and I'm not going to use this hour, so I can just cross it out because it's going to maybe mess me up. So I'm just going to look at the 3/10 of a mile and the 4/10 of a mile, and then go from there. So again, for 3 times a week, so we'll put that here, 3 times, she walks 3/10 of a mile from school to the library, and then on her way home, she walks back 4/10 of a mile. And she does that for 3 times a week. So now we're going to figure out how much she's walking total. So I'm going to just put my 3 times here, and I'm going to add what's inside the parentheses. So 3/10 plus 4/10 is 7/10. So I know that she is walking a total of 7/10 of a mile 3 days a week. So I'm going to go 3 times 7 tenths. Again, we take our whole number, multiply it by our numerator. So 3 times 7 is 21. Our denominator doesn't change. So in 1 week, she is walking 21 tenths of a mile. Now, she needs to, she's going to be doing that for 2 weeks. So we're going to have to take 21 tenths and add it again to 21 tenths to get how much she's walking over 2 weeks. So 21 tenths to 21 tenths is 42 tenths. Now, I'm breaking that apart into, and you can break that apart into 4 wholes. So again, it can go 10 over 10 plus 10 over 10 plus 10 over 10 plus 10 over 10. So that would be 40, 10, 20, 30, 40 tenths. And then I'm left with 2 tenths left. Okay, so that's 1 whole, 2 wholes, 3 wholes, 4 wholes. So that's what I wrote here, 4 and 2 tenths. So now she's walked a total of 4 and 2 tenths. Now she's walking. Now, if you look back up at the chart, she needs to walk 6 miles in order to get the prize. So the question was, how much more will she need to walk to win the prize? Well, if she walked, she needs to walk 6 total miles, and she's walked 4 and 2 tenths. We're going to take that away to figure out how many more miles she needs to walk. So we're going to go 6. So let me put this up here. So we're going to go 6 total miles that she needs to walk, subtracted from the miles she's already walked. So again, when I subtract fractions, I like to stack them so we can trade. So we're going to trade one of these wholes here and turn it into 5, and then it's going to be 5. And since we're dealing with tenths, it's going to be 10 tenths. We have 5 and 10 tenths, which is the same as saying 6. So now we can subtract our 2 tenths. So 10 tenths take away 2 tenths is 8 tenths. 5 take away 4 is 1. So she needs to walk 1 and 8 tenths of a mile in order to get the prize. So 1 and 8 tenths of a mile is what she needs to do. So how can we explain that? Well, she walks 3 tenths plus 4 tenths total every day, which is, oops, which is 7 tenths. She does this 3 times per week. So 3 times 7 tenths equals 21 tenths in 1 week. For 2 weeks, she will walk 42 tenths, which is 4 and 2 tenths. She needs to walk 6 miles, which means she has to walk 1 and 8 tenths miles more. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do our practice, and we're dividing here. So it's 642 divided by 2 for number 3, and number 4 is 386 divided by 9. I'm going to do 3 and 4 for you. I'll have you do 5 and 6 on your own. See how you do with those. So for 3, again, it's 642 divided by 2. So I'm going to go right ahead and go with 300, because I know that 3 times 2 is 6, so that's going to get me real close. So 3 times 2 is 6, but it's an extended fact, so I get 600. 2 take away 0 is 2. 4 take away 0 is 4. So now I know I can do 20, because 20 times 2 is 40. And that's going to leave me with 2 left over. So I'm going to know that I need 1, so 1 times 2 is 2. And then I hit that 0. Now I'm going to add our side thing, so 300 plus 20 plus 1 is 321. Okay, so that's 321. All right, so number 6, we're doing 386 divided by 9. So again, I'm going to go with, let's try 40, because I know that 4 times 9 is 36. So that's 4 times 9 is 36. Add the 0 for the extended fact. 6 take away 0 is 6. 8 take away 6 is 2. So now I go 9 times, let's do 2. So 9 times 2 is 18. So 6 take away 8, can't do that, so I have to trade. Gives me 16, so that leaves me with 8. I can't divide 9 into 8 anymore because I don't have enough. So that will leave me with a remainder. So we know it's going to be 42 with that remainder of 8. So it's 42 remainder 8. Alright, so that's it for now. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please come and see me. Thanks.